Hello, this is Mindy from the Weekend Gardener, and today I have a gardening tip for you. Have you ever in the spring gone out and found your terracotta pots looking like this versus looking like this? Well, there's a science behind why your pot looks like this versus this, and the tips that I'm going to give you, while not on a permanent basis, will help your terracotta remain looking like this versus this. Now, the first thing that we need to talk about is the science behind terracotta. Terracotta is actually a very porous type of substance, and that's why in the summer when you plant in it, the soil dries out a lot quicker compared to a plastic pot. The soil absorbs the water evaporates through the pores of the terracotta. The other thing that you need to keep in mind is the reverse happens in the wintertime when you get snow or rain. Water is absorbed through the pores of the terracotta. If it freezes, it expands and causes small cracks that will lead to big cracks that cause your terracotta to do this. Now, regardless if you store your terracotta inside or outside, I have a few tips that can extend the life of your terracotta. So the first thing that you want to do at the end of your season is you want to empty out your terracotta. Now, you may be thinking, I don't want to waste that soil. It's only been in the container 1 year. I'm sure it's still good, and I am sure it is still viable soil. But soil holds moisture, and that moisture, if it gets cold, is going to freeze and expand, which is going to cause cracking in your terracotta. So you want to make sure that you get rid of that soil and compost it. The next thing that you want to do is you don't want to store your terracotta this way. Now, I have a golden rule that I follow. I have a lot of terracotta bases or plastic bases that I put my pots in during the summer so that I can either water from the bottom or water from the top, and the water will collect in the bottom. I make sure I take my terracotta out of those saucers, and I tip them after I've emptied it. I tip it upside down on a flat surface. Now, if you keep those saucers with the terracotta in, what will happen through capillary action is the terracotta will absorb that water, it will freeze, and you will again have cracking. The last thing that I would suggest as far as your terracotta, when possible, make sure that you store it inside and don't just put it on a shelf. An oak cooler is a great thing to store your terracotta pots in because it will cushion it in case it gets hit. So the next time you're going, oh, I don't want to lose my terracotta pot, give these tips a try. So until we meet in the garden again, this has been Mindy from the Weekend Gardener.